Captain Kirk is great, but some of Star Trek's best characters never made it to TV. For nearly 60 years, Star Trek has thrived on the strength of its characters, visionaries, explorers, outcasts, scientists, and rebels who define the franchise's hopeful future. Captain James T. Kirk is undeniably one of the most iconic faces of the universe, a pop culture staple whose swaggering confidence and instinctive leadership helped propel Star Trek into mainstream mythology. But as beloved as Kirk and his televised successors are, some of the franchise's most compelling characters never appeared on TV at all. They lived instead in novels, comics, and video games, expanding the galaxy far beyond what audiences saw on the small screen. These off-screen heroes, villains, and complex in-betweeners add richness to Star Trek's canon and offer glimpses of what might have been. In many cases, they rival or even surpass their TV counterparts in emotional depth, storytelling potential, or sheer originality. Here are some of Star Trek's greatest characters who never made it to television, and why they deserve recognition alongside legends like Kirk, Spock, Picard, Janeway, and Sisko. Mackenzie Calhoun, the rebellious captain who redefined Starfleet leadership. Created by acclaimed novelist Peter David for the Star Trek New Frontier series, Captain Mackenzie Calhoun remains one of the most beloved non-TV captains in Trek history. Unlike the polished, diplomatic officers of the Federation who typically command starships, Calhoun brings raw, insurgent energy to the captain's chair. A former guerrilla fighter who battled an alien empire on his homeworld, Calhoun joined Starfleet not through tradition but through necessity, and his leadership style reflects it. He's unpredictable, fiercely independent, and deeply intuitive. His command of the USS Excalibur feels more like managing a band of rebels than a regimented Starfleet crew. What makes Calhoun so compelling is the way David allows him to break Starfleet molds without compromising the franchise's moral core. He's not a renegade for the sake of drama. He's a leader forged through trauma, loss, and revolution. In many ways, he's the anti-Kirk, less suave, more rough-edged, yet equally charismatic. A TV adaptation would have made him an instant fan favorite, especially in today's era of grittier Trek stories. Elias Vaughn, Starfleet's most underrated legend, appearing across DS9 relaunch novels, Commander Elias Vaughn is arguably one of the richest characters the extended universe ever produced. At over 100 years old, Vaughn is a career Starfleet intelligence officer whose life intersects with decades of galactic history. He represents the ultimate quiet professional, a man who has witnessed the Federation's triumphs and failures from behind the scenes. Vaughn's journey is particularly powerful because he embodies the costs of Starfleet service in a way the shows rarely explore. His long career is marked by regret, sacrifice, and personal reinvention. He becomes a mentor to many, including the next generations of Byron and Trill officers, and even joins the Defiant in battle during the monumental Avatar novels. His character would have added enormous depth to Deep Space Nine's later seasons. Imagine a counterpart to Sisko and Kira who carries a century's worth of secrets, guilt, and strategic brilliance. Vaughn proves that Starfleet's greatest heroes don't always wear the captain's uniform or appear on screen. Dr. Julian Bashir's Section 31 nemesis, Kol. Among the more chilling figures introduced in Star Trek literature is Kol, an enigmatic Section 31 operative who becomes a recurring antagonist in the Deep Space Nine relaunch novels. Unlike Sloan, the television portrayal of Section 31 as manipulative agents, Kol represents a colder, more methodical brand of shadow warfare. Kol is terrifying not because he shouts or threatens, but because he almost never reveals his motivations. He's an expert in psychological manipulation, and his confrontations with Dr. Bashir elevate the espionage side of DS9 into something far more profound. Their war is pitched not with weapons but with ideology, Bashir's idealism against Kol's ruthless utilitarianism. If adapted for TV, Kol could have been the Moriarty to Bashir's Sherlock, a brilliant, inscrutable villain who forces the Doctor to confront the darker edges of his own ambition. It's the kind of chess match rivalry prestige television thrives on, and fans missed out on seeing it fully visualized. T'Pring, the most fascinating Vulcan you've never met. The Vulcan characters on television, from Spock to Tuvok to T'Pol, are iconic for their intelligence and emotional restraint. But T'Pring, a Vulcan security officer from the Star Trek Vanguard novels, may be the most psychologically complex Vulcan ever created. T'Pring is bonded to another Vulcan against her will, and the severed bond leaves her suffering severe neurological consequences. She's a character constantly at war with her own mind, tasked with maintaining Vulcan composure while battling trauma, anger, and forbidden emotion. Her story dismantles the stereotype that Vulcans are unshakable, revealing the cost of their strict mental discipline. A presence like T'Pring on a TV series would have redefined Vulcan representation for a generation. She's a tragic hero, a brilliant officer, and a reminder that logic isn't immunity, it's survival. Captain Riker of the Titan, the leader he was born to be. Although Will Riker is, of course, a major television character, the version of Riker that fans see in the Star Trek Titan novels is something new, and arguably one of the best captains in Trek's literary canon. Where televised Riker often played the loyal first officer, the Titan novels unleash his full potential. As captain of the USS Titan, Riker leads a wildly diverse crew on boundary-pushing scientific missions. His ship is a melting pot of alien cultures, each bringing their own perspectives and challenges. This Riker is more introspective, more compassionate, and more adventurous. He's not Kirk's heir or Picard's shadow. He's a leader defined by curiosity and empathy. If this version had made it to TV years before Star Trek Picard, audiences would have discovered a captain every bit as compelling as Kirk, just in a completely different way. Garak's father, Enabran Tain, the ultimate Cardassian architect. Though Enabran Tain technically appears briefly on TV, the version of him explored in the novels is far richer, deeper, and more memorable. In the extended universe, Tain becomes a Shakespearean figure, equal parts kingmaker, spy master, and tragic father. His relationship with Garak becomes the heart of several books, revealing layers of manipulation, twisted affection, and long-buried guilt. The novels explore Cardassian culture in a way the series only hinted at, and Tain emerges as one of the most fascinating political figures in the franchise. Had television devoted more time to Tain, he might have stood alongside Dukat and Weon as one of Star Trek's greatest antagonists. Instead, his fullest incarnation lives on in the pages of Deep Space Nine's continuation novels, rich, flawed, brilliant, and forever shaping Garak's destiny. Nog's post-TV evolution, a visionary Starfleet officer. Nog is a TV character, but his true potential blossoms in the novels. Following the events of What You Leave Behind, Nog's growth in the books is extraordinary. He becomes one of the Federation's most innovative engineers and plays a pivotal role in Byron, Ferengi, and Federation diplomatic and scientific advancements. Where TV Nog is inspiring, literary Nog is groundbreaking, a symbol of how far the Federation has come in accepting diverse perspectives. His story is a powerful reminder that Star Trek isn't just about captains. It's about the ordinary individuals,